If you're looking for a delicious way to get some omega-3s into your system, then you must try these hot, cheesy salmon melts. I've been eating these since I was a kid, and they are such an easy way to use an extra can of salmon that you might have laying around. A quick note before we get started: if you don't have a can of salmon, you can absolutely use tuna as an alternative. They turn out amazing regardless, and this recipe can be fun to try both ways. Now let's get into it. The first thing you'll want to do is set your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. As the oven preheats, let's prep everything else. For this recipe, I'm using a jar of home-canned sockeye salmon, but you can use any store-bought canned salmon or tuna and it will turn out perfect. Pop off that lid and then drain out excess juices from your jar or can. If you leave them in there, your salmon melts are likely to turn out really soggy. Now, throw your salmon into a medium-sized bowl and break it up with a fork, like so. Once it's thoroughly shredded up, you'll want to thinly chop about 1/4 of an onion. Once it's chopped up like this, throw it into your bowl with the salmon. Next, add some mayo to your bowl as well. I tend not to measure how much I use, and it varies every time, but as a rough estimate, I'd probably add about 1/8 of a cup of mayo. Mix everything up well, and don't forget to add a sprinkle of salt and black pepper to the mix. Once it looks like this, set it aside and grab yourself a cheese grater and a chunk of cheese. You can use absolutely any type of cheese you'd like, so long as it can melt. One of my favorites for this recipe is good old mozzarella because it melts very nicely. Now that your cheese is grated, grab 2 slices of bread as well. Next, grab yourself a sheet pan and lay either parchment paper or aluminum foil on top. Lay down your bread slices, grab your salmon mixture, and get ready to assemble. Evenly top each slice of bread with your salmon mixture. Once they look like this, get your grated cheese and cover each one evenly. By now, your oven will have preheated, and you can put your pan in. Let them cook for just over 5 minutes, and once that cheese is gooey and melted, crank your oven to a broil setting. This will get your cheese bubbling and slightly brown on the top. Remember to keep a very close eye on your salmon melts to make sure nothing burns under the broiler. You will probably only want to keep them in there for about 2 minutes or so. Once they're done, remove them from the oven and admire how golden and cheesy they are. I promise you, this recipe will not disappoint. Enjoy!